So please tell us what happened after you entered the room.
I entered the room, I sat down in the chair, I took the towel off my head and I was about to brush my hair.
And then what happened?
And then Jenkins came up behind me, pulled me by my hair and pulled the chair backwards and I fell backwards in the chair. She started to punch me in the face and on the head.
And were you sitting in the chair at this time?
I fell out of the chair at that time.
So when you fell out of the chair, where did you go?
I was like in the middle of the floor, on the cell floor.
Were you still close to the counter and the sink? Were you
Yes.
all the way on the ground, or how were you positioned?
I was blocking myself from the punches and then I was on my stomach.
No, you don't have to sit that close. All right. So what happened after that?
I just remember getting hit multiple times in the head and the face, and I heard another person come into the room.
You heard another person come into the room?
Yes.
Who was that?
Priscilla Fields.
What happened next?
She was standing by the door. I was on the floor getting punched and kicked, and I know I got kicked a lot and punched a lot, so I believe I probably lost consciousness. And then I heard, there was like a silence, and I heard a clicking noise.
Backing up, did you have locks in your room?
Yes.
What were the purpose of those locks?
We had totes that went under the bed. We locked all our personal belongings in the totes.
And you had locks that would secure those totes? And what type of locks were those?
Master combination padlocks, like we use in school.
And had you operated those locks prior to September 24th of 2016?
What's that?
Had you used those locks?
Yes. Yep.
Were you familiar with the sounds that they would make when you would work with them?
Yes.
So when you heard the clicking noise on that day, is that the same sound that you had previously heard when you operated the locks?
Yes.
What happened after that?
Erica hit me multiple times in the head and the face again with the padlock.
And how?
I'll object again and move to strike that response, lack of foundation.
Sustained. How do you know it was Erica that hit you with the lock?
Because I seen her face.
And did you see her using the lock to hit you?
Yes.
How was she using the lock to hit you?
She put it like between her fingers, over her knuckles.
And you saw her with the shackle part, the ring part, is that correct?
Yes.
Where was that?
Over the top of the knuckles.
And where was the dial portion of the lock?
Probably like in the center of her chin.
And you saw Miss Jenkins use that to hit you?
Yes.
Were you focused the entire time on the position of the lock in her hands?
No.
Why not?
I was losing consciousness. I was getting hit in the head. I probably was kind of blacked out.
Could Miss Jenkins have used that lock to strike you in other ways?
Yes.
But you're sure that she used it in that way, is that correct? Did you ever see Miss Fields use a lock to hit you?
No.
From the point when your hair was first pulled to when the assault was over, how long do you believe it lasted?
I would say 45 minutes.
And during that time, that 45 minutes, did the defendant ever leave the room?
No.
Did Miss Fields ever kick you?
Yes.
How do you know that?
Because there's no way Erica could have done it if she was over here hitting me from this side. She only has 2 feet. I mean, I could feel the other feet coming at me and kicking me on the back.
So let's break that down. You were aware of the position that Miss Jenkins was in when she was assaulting you, is that correct?
Yes.
And where was that?
Right above me.
Right above you, towards your head or towards your feet or somewhere else?
Towards my head.
how were you positioned during that time?
On my stomach.
Where were your hands?
They were covering my head like this.
And during that time, how do you know it was Miss Fields that was kicking you?
Because the kicks came from another direction.
Where did they come from?
From the door, like towards the entry of the door where she was standing.
And did anybody else ever come in the room during the assault that you're aware of?
No.
So that's why you believe that Miss Fields was the one kicking you?
Yes.
When you were being hit with the lock, did it ever feel like the manner in which you were being hit shifted from brass knuckles to something else?
Yes.
Did it feel differently whenever it moved?
It was like a swaying motion and kind of a slower hit.
Okay. Did it feel like the lock was connected to a body part?
No.
But is it safe to say that, are you certain that the lock was at one point in the palm of her hand with the shackle around her finger?
Yes.
You're certain of that?
Yes.
When the beating was over, what happened next?
Jenkins allowed me to get up. She had a plastic bag in her hand. She gave it to Fields and sent Fields to get ice.
Where were you at this time?
I went to the sink and started putting cold water on my face.
How were you positioned when it finally stopped, though?
I was like positioned
Yeah.
on my knees.
So you had gotten up to being on your knees.
Yes.
Did you move from the floor up to your knees?
I think after the hitting slowed down, I got to my knees and then finally got to my feet to get to the sink.
And what did you do at the sink?
I was washing my face.
Was there a lot of blood?
Yes.
What happened next?
Erica started saying, I'm sorry I had to do this to you. Now you're gonna act right. You're gonna sign these papers. We're gonna get this paperwork straightened out, the affidavit that she wanted me to sign. And that's when Fields came back with the ice bag.
Do you recognize this photograph?
Yes.
I'm also handing you what's been previously marked as exhibit number 21. Do you recognize this photograph?
Yes.
And these are photographs of your face, is that correct?
Yes.
Is that how your face looked on September
Yes.
24th?
Yes.
Can you please look at the shirt that you're wearing in this photograph?
It's a great shirt.
Is that the shirt that you would have changed out of into
Yes.
change out of your room into a gray t-shirt?
Yes.
Were you focusing on what clothing you were wearing at the time?
No.
And that is the right side of your face, is that correct?
Yes.
As you sit here today, this is almost 2.5 years later. Is this how your face normally looked back in September of 2016?
No.
Is exhibit number 23 how your face normally looked?
No.
What's different?
The blood, the swelling, bruising.
And I'm handing you what's been marked from exhibit number 26. Do you recognize this photograph?
Yes.
What is that photograph of?
My arm.
Ma'am, if you'll look at this photograph, across this photograph, here and here especially, and other places, there appear to be bruising that would be in the shape of a semicircle or something along those lines. Were those bruises there prior to the assault?
No.
Are those bruises a result of the assault?
Yes.
Was the rest of the bruising that is depicted in this picture also a result of the assault?
Yes.
And is the bruising that we see in exhibits number 22 and 23 also a result of the assault?
Yes.